Thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com, home of technical analysis education in both the stock market and cryptocurrency worlds. See the links in the description of this video for more information on our two courses, Entries and Exits on the Fundamentals of Technical Analysis, as well as our new course on Trading Cryptocurrency Strategy. Purchase both and receive a 20% off bundle discount. Thanks for checking us out. Let's get on to the technical analysis.
Hello everyone, hope you're having a good morning. Doing some early action crypto here for the big three. We had an oversold bounce overnight. We can see the correlations have picked back up so that Bitcoin is again leading the way and Ethereum and Litecoin are following along. And as I've said in other videos, remember when volume and volatility pick up, that's when we see correlations can break if it's only in one name. So when we saw Ethereum and Litecoin shoot up and Bitcoin pull back, that was volume shifting around that broke those correlations. Then the volume puttered out and stopped coming in and things settled down. That's when the correlations were starting to pick back up again. So if you do not have consistent volume in one coin breaking that correlation, it will always float back into that correlation. And then we've saw the dump on Bitcoin and everybody else following along and dumping overnight and seeing oversold bounces. So short-term oversold bounces are underway. Right now, Bitcoin is forming a higher low on the daily time frame, 5102 support, and our new higher low of 53.76. The bulls are trying to form a bullish reversal candlestick. Have to confirm it tomorrow, but at this point we have, another 13 hours in this current candlestick. So this could, by the time this candlestick closes, it could end up no longer being a bullish reversal candlestick. So we need to keep that in mind. But looking at the 4-hour time frame, we're still in a very clear lower high pattern. So we had an oversold hourly bounce that gave us a nice bullish reversal candlestick and some follow through, and it was absolutely a nice bounce, 53.76 all the way up to 56.43. So, over $250 to the upside, but we have an upper wick of profit taking. We're seeing a lower high being set, and we are going to be looking back down at that 53.76 support. From here, the bulls are going to have to form a higher low and then a higher high breaking 56.44 in order to shift this the 4-hour trend. It's very clearly a downtrend of lower highs and lower lows. So we're patiently waiting for that to change before we can be comfortable going bullish. And you can see the MACD is starting to curl here. So if we do get that higher low, then we'll look for that bullish cross on the MACD to give us some further indication. So the hourly time frame did hit oversold conditions. We hit 30, saw a weak bounce, and a little bit more of a flush where we just dipped into the upper 20s. And then as soon as this bull candlestick showed up with high bull volume, we broke that little lower high, and higher lows and higher highs followed. So a short-term support is 54.73. The hourly higher lows will be lost if that level is lost. And our resistance again is the high of the bull move up at 56.44. So those are the more details I would be looking at on this time frame in terms of needing to hold this support. Ideally forming a higher low on the 4-hour time frame would keep that level that's down here at 54.73. So checking in on Ethereum to see that change, we have the big bullish reversal candlestick on the daily time frame. But look at the size of the upper wick. We saw tons of profit taking because that correlation picked back up and Bitcoin started pulling back and Ethereum started pulling back with it. So this one candlestick took out, 5 days of red, 4 days of red, but it's now giving a lot of that back. And we're not even really confirming this bullish candlestick. So it's a pretty big disappointment at this point in terms of how much we have pulled back and the fact that that correlation is back with Bitcoin leading the way for Ethereum. We have support here trying to form this higher low on the 4-hour time frame with a bullish reversal doji at 288. And we saw follow through on the bounce all the way up to 397. And from here, it's the same thing as Bitcoin. We have to form the higher low and higher high to regain the momentum in favor of the bulls. This move came right off the lows where we saw that move shoot up to 312. And we have to form the higher low and the higher high to shift this trend. Otherwise, it's just a short-term pop that fades away and doesn't do anything to that trend. So same situation for Bitcoin, higher low and higher high needed on the 4-hour time frame. Here's the hourly chart. We're testing a support right now of 294.32, and we're on the verge of potentially breaking that. So if 294.32 were to break, we're looking down at that recent low of 288.05. So bearish action. Not a ton of volume behind this move in terms of the bears, but there wasn't a ton of bull volume either. And we're definitely seeing it fade back towards the recent lows. Litecoin, going to be the same thing. There's the daily chart, big bullish reversal candlestick, big upper wick of profit taking, and no confirmation of that reversal candlestick in terms of follow through. The 4-hour time frame, here we are with our higher low down at 53.55, the must-hold level, but we haven't even really seen any kind of bounce follow through from there, and we're heading right back down to test it. So in terms of forming a higher low on the 4-hour time frame, the LTC bulls are struggling the hardest, and BTC bulls have the best opportunity right now on this time frame. So 4-hour higher low is essential, and Litecoin is struggling. So Litecoin resistance is 55.98 and 56.06. Essentially 56 psychological right here is resistance, followed by the high of the bounce of 59.19. There are definitely some nice gains to be had on these bounces, but again, short-term gains, locking them in until the trend changes back towards favoring the bulls on the 4-hour time frame. Until that happens, we are cautious bullish. We have LTC with a bearish MACD cross on the 4-hour time frame. ETH is closing in on a bearish MACD cross, and Bitcoin, because it had pulled back earlier, is in a different scenario looking for a bull cross, but still a ways away from that happening. So bottom line, where we head into this morning, with the correlation of the big three all stuck together, we need to see a higher low and a higher high on the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin, and to see that follow through with some strength on the other two names. But we are likely to, if we do pull back on Bitcoin to form that higher low, we're likely to see Ethereum and LTC potentially test their lows from overnight, because they are in a weaker position. And if that correlation stays the same, then it will take that price down towards that low while Bitcoin is still forming a higher low, if that makes sense. Bitcoin is stronger to the point where it's going to have more wiggle room to keep that higher low, where these other names won't have as much. So that's where we stand. Again, where we're standing right now is just playing bullish oversold bounces for short-term gains, or waiting for the trend to change. That's the only two times we're making any bullish entries in a downtrend. If we're trying to make a bullish entry when we're not seeing a volume climax flush, we are likely fighting the trend and likely to get stopped out. So last night was a volume climax flush on the hourly time frame, and now it's up to a trend change on the 4-hour to get us back in bullish. Otherwise, we're just patiently waiting for those two opportunities to present themselves. So I hope you have a good rest of your morning. We'll continue to monitor everything. Going to be covering it all day in the chat room today, and we will see you in the near future.